Jana,
Hello. Today we're talking about Pinterest bios, and they're actually pretty important. It's like high level real estate that you should be using the right way if you want to generate leads on Pinterest and grow your reach and followers and everything.
that is accurate in the way that you described it. Goodbye. I'm just kidding.
And that's our show for today, folks.
That's our show. Bye. 18 seconds. Yeah, Pinterest bios. They're important. They help your profile to get surfaced. Believe it or not, the words that you put in the bio do help to surface the profile. So a lot of people really use this real estate wrong, and I think it's really easy just to do it the right way. It's not
Yeah.
rocket
Yeah, and it gives you a lot, it's high leverage, as I say, because it gives you a lot of like you just do it once. I mean, you might update it occasionally, but it's like it's not something you have to like do every week, like with pinning or something like that. It's just you do it once and then it helps you get surfaced. And I actually would like to ask you, in case there's anyone listening now or later on in the replay who's like, what does that mean? What do you mean by surfaced? I think I know what you mean, but I'm just curious if you want to explain how
Yeah.
that helps you get surfaced and what that means.
So when you are on the platform and you search for I don't know, like ChatGPT tips,
Hmm.
if I have words related to that either in the bio or my display name, it's going to help my profile to actually surface in
Hmm.
those search results.
Yep. So
The same.
surface means show up in a surface on Pinterest. And in this case, there's several surfaces where a bio is going to help you show up for the people who are searching for your thing, right?
Yeah, two big
Okay.
ones come to mind. Is the actual profile feed when you search for a name, like, and
Hmm.
you filter by profiles, you have the chance to come up there. And you also have the chance to come up in the autofill on the actual platform itself.
Yeah. Yeah. To
Um,
me, that's the better one. Not the better one, but like the one that's the most impactful.
yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah. Because
So,
if somebody goes in and they're just typing in like pelvic health or they're typing in like how to do a Kegel, like I know if you type in how to do a Kegel exercise, for example, or Kegels or something, one of my former clients, Kim, who's a pelvic health coach, actually has that word in her bio. And so she actually shows up not only as like, it's not just like showing you potentially what to search for. It's actually saying, hey, here's a person that teaches all about this, like a whole darn expert about this topic that you're searching for. And you're like, oh, there's a whole person that teaches all about this. Oh my gosh, click on it, right? So go ahead.
yeah, no, that's exactly right. So you really
Hmm.
have the opportunity to show up when your people are looking for you.
Hmm.
Um, the one thing that I really harp on when it comes to Pinterest bios is using a
Oh,
keyword that what?
I just realized we're kind of conflating two things.
What?
It's actually the name of your profile that
Yeah, but
shows up
you're
in those surfaces. And I was totally, you probably weren't, but I realized I was doing that. So your bio and your name, your profile name are two different things. And they're like, we're talking
mhm,
about bios today, and it's actually the name of your profile where you also should put keywords that show up
mhm.
there where I just described. Sorry.
Yeah,
That
so
was
the
confusing.
words in your bio can also, I've seen this happen in the past where the word actually in the display name, it was found in the bio itself, but that person still
Ah,
came up in the
okay.
search results for the keyword.
Okay. Okay, so I want to correct myself. So basically what we're saying, you were right. I just was thinking of it wrong. So not wrong, but like I was mixing up two things, two different strategies.
Hmm.
So I go and I type in Kegel,
Hmm.
and maybe Kim's profile name is Kim Pelvic Health and like, you know, getting ready for baby, getting ready to push or something like that,
Yeah.
tips or something. But in her bio, it says like I pin about this, 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 and this. And one of those things is like how to do a Kegel exercise properly. So it doesn't say that in her profile name, it says it in her bio. But I go and I type in Kegel, and in my drop down, Pinterest says, oh, you could search for Kegel exercises, Kegel this, Kegel that, or there's this
Yeah.
person, Kim, pelvic health coach and getting ready to push. And you're like, oh, that's actually exactly what I need. And you click on it. So you're saying it can surface there even if the keyword in question is in your about your bio as opposed to just in your name. So that's actually even more sophisticated than what I thought we were saying. So, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
historically speaking, that's how it's worked. Now, of
Got it.
course, they are subject to change at any time. So
Things change. Yep.
who knows on any given day what they're up to,
Hmm.
or what they um,
If they're
can
changing.
do. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So the the thought process here is to write a Pinterest bio that supports your display name, that supports what you do and who you serve. So the tips today that we have for listeners are going to be kind of wrapped around that. So
Okay.
how do you optimize your Pinterest bio to attract the right customers and clients, basically? That's
Yep.
the question we want to ask. So we have a couple tips. My big tip is to use the main keyword that you really want to be known for. Like, what is your business all about? My business is all about Pinterest marketing strategy. So I'm going to make sure to include that keyword in my bio and ideally in my display name as well. I can't include the word Pinterest in my display name because Pinterest is Pinterest and I'm Heather.
Yep.
So I have to support my profile with my bio on Pinterest in that way. So, yeah, that's
Yep.
my number one tip is to just choose your main keyword that you want to be known for and make sure to include it in your bio. Now, you had a couple of tips as well that I think are really good. So, tell
Yes.
me.
Yeah. I'll cover those too. I just want to clarify something you said. So basically, so I remember the time, it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago, where all of a sudden one day you couldn't put the word Pinterest in the name of your profile. You used to be able to. And so some of our colleagues still have it because they never changed it. Like they had had
Mhm.
it there before they made the change. And so Pinterest didn't start like it, but so, okay. So if you had the word Pinterest, like you were like, Heather, Pinterest marketing strategy
Mhm.
before a certain cutoff date, it can still be there. But if you change it now, they won't let you change it back.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, and I know, so for example, if I wanted to go back into my bio right now, and I think it says like Jana O, content that converts and marketing for coaches, something like that. If I wanted to change it back to Pinterest strategist, it wouldn't let me because you can't use Pinterest, but you can still use it in your bio, right? And so if you are watching this, and I know we have a lot of Pinterest managers and strategists that watch this, if you've been frustrated because you can't have it in your profile name, you should at least at minimum have it in your bio, and that helps you get surfaced for the right things, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just really connecting the dots there. And then, yeah, so I think that my two biggest tips when people ask me, like, oh, is my bio good for Pinterest? There's really two things I'm looking at. Number one, it's are you describing, like you said, the way you phrased it was like how you help and who you help. Are you describing yourself or are you describing you in the context of how you help people? So your
Mhm.
about and your bio is really the same as like an about page on your website, where yeah, it's kind of about you, but really, because the word bio makes it sound like it's going to be like, your life story, right? But it's not technically supposed to just be about you. It's really going to be better if it's about you in the context of how you help others. So you want someone to be able to look at it and be like, oh, yeah, okay, I get what she does. Not only I get what she does, but I get how I'm going to benefit from following her content, looking at her pins, learning from her, maybe even hiring her, right?
Yeah.
I have some examples from a blog post that I wrote that I just updated recently, actually, about how to write a Pinterest bio that's effective. So I'll pull those up. But then, like you said, the second part of it is going to be making sure you're incorporating keywords.
Yep.
And to be honest, like it's the way that I really recommend it is super easy. Like you don't have to overcomplicate it. I like to have the first like sentence of it be basically, who you are in the context of how you help other people. And then I like to just say pinning about and then adding like three long tail keywords.
Yeah.
More than three, and I feel like it's starting to feel like you're keyword stuffing. But as long as you're doing it in a conversational way, like I pin about these three, things basically.
Yeah.
So picking out three of your important long tail keywords and incorporating them in there is really how I do it. So it would be like I can't remember what I have right now in my bio, but mine might be, I I help coaches and service providers create blog content that converts. So content that converts is definitely being searched. I know that's a big search term, so I use
Yeah.
that. And it's also I believe it's in my profile name. And then I would say I pin here about or pinning about, and then I would say like, blog marketing for coaches, how to get coaching clients with your content, because how to get coaching clients is a term. Or it might be like how to get clients online with your blog and content or something like that, because how to get clients online is the search term there.
Yep.
And then I might add like a third long tail keyword. So if someone were reading that, it wouldn't sound like all keyword stuffy, but if I added two more phrases, it might start to sound keyword stuffy. So I like to just do add three. So maybe if you can have one in that first sentence that describes what you do, mine was content that converts, and
Hmm.
then pinning about, and then like three more. And then luckily, Pinterest gave us like 500 characters a while back. That's old news now. Um, but
Yep.
remember that it went from like truncated to 160 to like they're like all of a sudden now it's like 500. So you can add even a few more sentences, but I would just make sure that they're really super conversational, not not keyword stuffing, right?
Yep.
And that's something I don't know. Maybe you can kind of help us understand that too. Like when you look at your bio, it is usually cut off.
Hmm.
But do the words that are cut off still contribute to helping Pinterest understand what we're all about?
Someone would have to click more and actually look at it in full. So I'm looking at yours right now, and it cuts off after service providers.
Yep.
So you
But
have a really strong lead in for what you do, like how you help people and how they can learn more about that thing, and then who it's like who that is for.
mhm,
So you're calling them in. So that's really strong. That's really great. And then it hits you with the more, so you'd actually have to click on it and read the full thing. But what's after it, yeah, of course, it contributes to the platform and them knowing who you are, what you do, who to serve your content to. Like all of that's great. Even if someone can't read it at a glance, it's fine. We put the most important stuff in the first 140 to 160 characters, and what comes after it isn't necessarily, going to turn the tide.
okay. So, and we probably should back up too and just make sure that for any beginners, more Pinterest beginners, we mentioned that like when we say the words in your bio, the keywords in your bio, just like the keywords in your profile name and your pins and your boards and board titles and all those places, we always say like that helps Pinterest understand what your content is about.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's important is because we want Pinterest's algorithm to understand what our content is about so that it can show our content, our pins,
Hmm.
and our profile, and our boards for that matter, to the right people. And the right people would be people who have searched for the things that our content is about in the past, are searching for it now, have searched for similar things that make the algorithm think, like, oh, okay, she searched for this, so she's probably also interested in this. So
Yeah.
we say that a lot where like we want Pinterest to understand what your content is about, but like just to connect the dots, that way they can actually serve it to people who care about it, who
Yeah.
actually are interested in it. Because, not everybody's interested in, Pinterest marketing or content, but the people who are, we want them seeing our pins. The only way for them to see our pins is for Pinterest to understand what our content is about and connect it to the things that Pinterest thinks this person wants to see in their feed, basically, right? So it's just to kind of like speak about it in really layperson's terms there.
Yeah.
Um, on this blog post that I wrote like a couple of before and afters. So this is like, I wrote these so long ago, but they're still totally relevant. So the first before version, which is not a good bio for Pinterest, is reads like this. It says, I'm a health coach and content creator obsessed with slow aging and nutrition. Living in the Midwest, wife, mom to two humans, and a fur baby. So, there's almost no good keywords in here for this person.
No.
And if you really like pull it apart, we can look at it. But like the word health coach, for example, a lot of people want to say that as a keyword. But the keyword, the search intent for that, from what I found, is people aren't going on Pinterest looking for a health coach. They're looking for information about health. And so having health coach in your bio isn't really getting you found by the right people. When you type in health coach and you really look at what pins come up, it's mostly about running a health coach business. So that's actually a good keyword for me because I help health coaches with their marketing, but it's
Yeah.
not a great keyword for a health coach who's actually looking to have their Pinterest content be found by people who might hire them. Because Pinterest just really isn't, generally speaking, a place where people are going and looking for like, health coach. Like I'm going to find somebody to hire. If they were really looking for that, they'd probably go to Google.
Yeah.
And then like slow aging and nutrition. Slow aging is just not really, I don't think, being searched. I could be wrong. We could check it. But and nutrition is too broad a keyword. No one can rank for that. And then living in the Midwest, wife, mom of two humans and a fur baby. None of that is keyword searchable. So you're basically like wasting your bio on telling people things that they don't really care right now about you because Pinterest is really about people finding you who've never met you before. It's for finding cold, new people. You know, they're searching for something, they find you, but they don't know you yet. So honestly, they don't care where you live or that you have a family or anything until they know what it is that you can help them do, what problems you're going to solve for them.
Yep.
So it's just really not a good bio for Pinterest. Meanwhile, after bio I wrote was midlife healthy living coach. So midlife healthy living is actually being searched. I help you stay strong, increase energy, and slow down aging. So stay strong, I think it was a search term back then. I've done this so long ago, but increase energy is definitely a search term, and slow down aging. Um, so let's see. And then I wrote pinning about workouts in your 40s and 50s, midlife nutrition, and more. So workouts in your 40s and 50s is a great keyword.
Yep.
And it's perfect for this person in terms of who they want to find them. And midlife nutrition is a much better keyword than just nutrition
Yep.
because it's more specific and you have a better chance of ranking for it and having the right people find you than if you're just trying to like put nutrition in your bio thinking that any old person who is interested in nutrition or searches nutrition is going to find you. Um,
Right.
so, and if anyone wants to see this, like it's on, it's in my blog post, which we'll put in the show notes. But that's like an example of what I mean by like a bio that's about you that doesn't have any keywords versus a bio that's about how you help people that does have keywords.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really great example. Those examples are really good, and they're in the blog post. We'll make sure the blog post is in the description of this video when it's over, and you can go and take a look at it.
Cool.
Tamisha says, great points about keywords that people actually searching for on Pinterest. Hello,
Yep.
Tamisha. Hello, Paula.
Hey, girl.
Um, it's tough sometimes to choose what keywords or like prioritizing keywords that you want to include or that you want to be known for.
Yeah.
Most people don't like with your capsule blog strategy, most people are not thinking about keywords in that way when they first get started. So definitely for any beginners listening, like it's totally fine. You can screw it up and you can change it later. It's
Yeah.
You're not married to any of this. And if you do change it and you feel like it's still not suitable to you, then change it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a
Can always
running
change them up.
list of my bios and display names in Apple Notes over the years. So like I have a
I have
running
a
record of things.
I have a Google Doc with all of my, so every time I delete one from either like Pinterest or Threads or Instagram or anywhere, I paste it into that document and put the date and then put the new one so that I don't
Yeah,
have to reinvent the wheel or rewrite things every time I want to make a change.
that's a really good point. I have that for pitching for like podcasts and things.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yep.
freebies and about me's and all of that stuff. And then I have this one like Pinterest bio note.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
right.
Mine's like all the links in bio language or something like that.
Yeah,
All I know is when I'm looking for it, I go into my Google Drive and I just type in like link in and it comes up and I'm like, there's the doc.
there it is.
Yeah.
That's a really hot tip for you guys to so you can refer back to it later.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought, actually. I'm going to bring this up because I think this is an interesting thing to talk about is like that document of mine, I go in there all the time. And the reason for that is that every time I go from an evergreen selling period where my cart, like people can enroll in HLC, but I'm not launching necessarily,
Mhm.
to a time when like the cart's closed and I'm driving to a wait list. And then every launch, I change my bio 3 times on Threads and Instagram, but I never have to change my Pinterest bio. And that's one of the
Yeah,
great things about Pinterest is it's so much more low maintenance. You really,
yeah,
Pinterest just doesn't behave like a social media platform in those ways. Everything I do on Pinterest is evergreen. I would never put a pin on Pinterest that says like, unless it's like automatically coming over from Instagram, which sometimes happens, and sometimes I
yeah,
delete it if I can. That's like, enroll by the end of the week to get this special bonus or something. If you do see that on my Pinterest, it's because it came from Instagram. And usually I go in once a month and delete anything like that that came over automatically from Instagram because I don't like having those types of pins out there. Because everything on Pinterest is evergreen. It's such an evergreen strategy, and you want to make sure you're pinning things that are going to stand the test of time. And as a result of that, that's one of the things that makes Pinterest so high impact and low effort compared to social media is like you don't have to worry about changing your bio all the time. It's just like a little microcosm of that phenomenon that I thought I would pull out, and point out because we're talking about this like changing your bio, changing your bio, changing your bio. I change my bio on Pinterest, maybe twice a year. It's not something I'm constantly changing depending on like what I'm launching, whether I'm open, whether it's the webinar, as the CTA or buy the thing or whatever. Like, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. Everything's evergreen in there. So good.
I rarely change mine too, and if I do, it's usually because um I noticed someone's like ripped me off again, or which is fine. Or
Wait, what's the connection between changing your bio and ripping you off?
so I found a profile recently that had literally taken my entire display name and bio and put it in their own. I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna update this.
Yeah.
It was fine though, because I probably did need a refresh, but the most recent time I
That's so
updated it,
glass half full of you.
the most recent that I updated it was last year when I joined the Pinterest Educator program, like it was rolled out publicly in March.
Yep.
That was the most recent time that I updated it. And then I
Yep.
did update my display name recently because I just wasn't happy with it. So,
Yeah. Sometimes things evolve and we just want to update it, but it's not like,
yeah.
on social where it's like this constant, having to
Yeah.
think about what people are seeing in your link in bio when they see your latest post.
Hmm.
So not about that on Pinterest, which is why we love it.
No, and I think the most important takeaway here is the keywords that you want to be known for, making sure to include those. I love the concept of like pinning about. I've never really done that. I've
Mhm.
just always written sentences about myself. So if you look at mine compared to Jana's, you can see the two styles. Neither of them are correct. Both of them are acceptable.
Mhm.
Or neither of them are incorrect, and they are both totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Um, so given that, I think this is a really great place for people to just jump right in. If you want more, you can read Jana's blog post. Um,
What if somebody writes their Pinterest bio and they would like you, Heather, the Pinterest expert, to look at it for them? Where would be a good place? Like, would you do that for people inside the membership, or how does that work?
yeah, so I oftentimes do that in my office hours calls for people in the membership. So if you do want support for your Pinterest profile or you want an audit, occasionally I will do a call for like public profiles to do a YouTube video on. So
Oh,
you can
cool.
always keep an eye out on, I usually post about those on YouTube. I have not done one in a while. Um, but the most direct source is the membership group. You're
Yeah.
going to get support there.
Yeah, and your membership's so affordable. So if somebody was coming in for a year
Yeah.
just to, you know, get their profile up and running, make sure that they not just their bio, but the whole profile, and make sure they're doing things based on current best practices so that they're set
Yeah,
up for really good success. One of the things they could do is have you look at their bio. That's something
for
you would
sure.
do inside the membership for people. Okay, cool.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
Excellent. Because I know some people
Um,
like they're happy to read my blog, they're happy to look at your bio and my bio to get examples and stuff, but or watch a YouTube video that you have about this, but at the end of the day, sometimes people really just want an expert to look at what they did and tell them, based on what they have, what would be a good idea to, adjust. Or maybe you look at it and you're like, no, it's perfect. You did a great job. No notes. And that's awesome too, because then you feel really confident about it. So
yeah.
it's the kind of support that you do in the membership, which is great.
Yeah. It's not really a hard task. It's something you can definitely second guess yourself on, but it's not something that
Yeah,
you should spend a ton of time like trying to recreate. So, yeah. Take a look at
good,
what we
good point.
have. Give it a go. If you want help with it, come and find me. I will definitely help you. Um, in the meantime, though, Jenna, we're talking next week about if we wanted to outsource or delegate social media, how we would do it.
Yeah. So like theoretically, because I mean, we both have done some of that over the years, but like if we were
Yeah.
doing it right now, if I was like, I'm hiring someone for 10 hours a week or 8 hours a week to outsource some of my social media, what would I do? We're gonna
Yeah.
kind of talk about how we would do it if we were doing it right now, because I know that's something a
Yeah.
lot of people want to do this year.
Yeah, it is definitely a question that comes up quite frequently. Um, I just actually had this conversation with someone in my membership on office hours last week, and
Yeah,
it was a very good conversation. So,
cool. That would be perfect
yeah.
then. We can talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to hearing what you told them.
Well, I have to
Okay.
run and get ready for another call, and I know you have something else coming up as well. So
Yeah, I probably have to go clean up more dog pee.
we'll leave it here and we'll talk to you later.
Yes, this is my lot in life right now. Bye. See you soon.
Bye. Rianne, turn that down.